In Iran is driving up the price of fuel and specifically diesel, and it's an increasing in diesel much faster than gasoline. And although it may not fill up your tank, you could still pay the price. Take a look at this. Today, diesel will cost $5.16 per gallon. That's up $1.40 since the start of the war. Ed Hers is an energy fellow at the University of Houston, and he joins us now to explain the ripple effects of this diesel crisis. Ed, good morning, and thanks so much for being with us. First, just establish how crucial diesel is to the U.S. economy and what industries will be directly affected by its jump in cost.
The economy runs on diesel. Every truck, every garbage truck, every Amazon truck, and every tractor in America runs on diesel. It's going to hit everything very quickly. The wholesale price of diesel and heating oil has basically doubled since January 1.
Now, there's an interesting connection between diesel and some other fuels, because even though the U.S. isn't heavily reliant on LNG, liquefied natural gas, we are seeing diesel prices jumping and affecting Americans. We've also been reporting on this strike on an LNG field in the Gulf. So what's the connection there?
So roughly 20% of the global supply of LNG is gone because Qatar shut off and the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. Lots of nations can still use diesel fuel in place of natural gas for electric generation. In fact, there are power plants in New York City that will switch to diesel or heating oil to run during the winter when natural gas supplies run low. The Northeast relies on natural gas to top off the natural gas grid. And so the New England states are going to see higher costs for diesel. They're also seeing higher costs for natural gas. But diesel has gone up disproportionately to, say, the price of gasoline across America.
Topping this half hour, truck drivers feeling the pinch as oil prices surge. The cost for a gallon of diesel reaching $4.99 at several local truck stops. Thanks for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Simon Shayket.
And I'm Whitney Burney. For only the second time ever, average diesel prices now top $5 per gallon, and war with Iran is to blame. Right now, it's too dangerous for ships to pass through the critical waterway. The effects are hitting truckers especially hard. According to AAA Michigan, a gallon of diesel fuel in Metro Detroit is around $4.90 a gallon. That's up 9 cents from last week. 7 News Detroit reporter Carly Petrus is talking to drivers in distress about how they're coping with this new normal.
I'm here at Flying J's in Woodhaven, a hot spot for truck drivers. And so far, this is one of the highest prices in the area that I'm seeing for diesel gas at $5.09.
Truck drivers hitting the brakes as diesel prices climb, now reaching a national average of $5.04 per gallon.
Just to put it into perspective, that $5.04 a gallon for diesel is up about $1.28 just since March 2nd.
The spike, a direct impact of conflict in the Middle East. Here in Michigan, the average is slightly lower, around $4.89 a gallon, but still up more than $1 from this time last year. AAA spokesperson Adrian Woodland says we haven't seen prices like this for several years.
Whether it's, state, national, unleaded, premium, and diesel, we have not seen these types of spikes since 2022.
And what's especially striking, how fast prices are rising. According to AAA, diesel is increasing even faster than gasoline, putting pressure on truckers and the companies they work for. Truckers like car hauler Dan Lewis. He's the owner and operator of his own company, which means he pays for all of his fuel.
When the prices get to this point, it really becomes about survival.
He says it's costing him nearly double to fill up his truck now compared to last year. To keep up, he's working longer hours and even changing where he fills up.
Where I park my truck is a truck stop with a gas station, and I used to go there every morning, and I no longer go there because it's 50 cents cheaper at another gas station.
But even if you don't use diesel, experts say you'll still feel it.
When diesel prices go up, it gets more expensive for just about everything because so many of the goods that we utilize are, shipped via semi trucks.
I asked Woodlands if we can expect relief anytime soon.
It's really something you can't predict.
For now, truckers like Lewis are just trying to hold on, even as life keeps moving forward.
Pinch our pennies when we can, and then when hopefully prices come down, we can go back to, making good money again.
When the price of gas goes up, it affects everyone who's driving. When the price of diesel goes up, it affects all of us. The roads around the Port of Oakland were jammed with trucks, moving goods from all over the world to their destinations. But the attack on Iran just made everything a lot more expensive. The price per gallon, $6.36.
It went from $5.49 over $1.
What does that do to you?
It takes the money from my family because I'm paying more for the fuel.
Across the Bay Area, the price for diesel fuel is skyrocketing, and Bill Aboudi, owner of AB Trucking in Oakland, says it won't just be the truckers paying that bill.
We have fuel surcharges built in, but this is like completely out of the norm. And so, no, we haven't, it's too fast for us to react, but we have to do something, otherwise we'll be losing money. We can't stay in business.
Aboudi says it will happen quick. He says the cost of diesel fuel for delivery trucks and the bunker fuel that powers container ships are going up so fast that even goods already en route are increasing in cost as they make their way to the U.S. It is in the stores that the ultimate price will be paid. Jeff Belisario heads up the Bay Area Council, a nonprofit economic policy group.
So I do think the inflationary concerns are pretty big here. We were seeing inflation come down, and now I think you talk to most economists, and the expectation is that inflation numbers are going to come up in the next few readings.
He says the Fed already dropped interest rates to reduce inflation, and it had been heading down. But now, with a weakening jobs report, there may be no easy way to control it.
And now we're at a spot where if inflation is going back up, Federal Reserve with monetary policy, we don't really have levers to tackle rising inflation and kind of a slowdown in the labor market. So those two things combined could tilt the U.S. into a recession.
Belisario says it will depend on how long fuel prices stay high and how resilient the consumers are. But he warned that with the last big inflation spike following COVID, people hadn't done much spending and had money saved up. This time, they don't have that cushion. As for Manuel Porras, he says he and his fellow truckers cannot continue if they can't pass the cost on to the consumer.
They are planning to put their trucks out of service because they cannot afford the prices on the fuel.